and welcome to the channel. My name is Tanya and this is my bookish life. I have changed the channel name, I know, but it'll be okay. We'll all get used to it, and going forward I think it'll be a good change. So if you are new here, welcome. This is where I talk about my reading, and I have missed a couple weeks. I didn't plan on missing a couple weeks, but life happens, as you know. I have several books to talk with you about today. I have been reading. I don't know what has happened to me. In the past several years, I've kind of just been meh. I mean, let's just be real and honest, and I don't know. I can't explain it. Maybe when I turned 50, and now I'm 54, I just feel I'm still in this kind of wait and see, what do I want to be when I grow up kind of phase of my life. I'm not sure, but there's been a lot of change even in the past year, with losing my grandmother, losing my dad. My oldest moved out on his own, and I don't know, it's just big changes, new normals, and I'm just trying to go day by day. And I still work full-time, and I still read every chance I get. So while this channel used to be me sharing my needlework, my knitting, and my reading, and it just kind of went in waves of what I was up to, I just haven't been cross-stitching. I have tinkered with the idea of starting a cross-stitch or floss tube channel, and I might at some point, maybe in the springtime, so stay tuned for that if you're a needleworker. But in the meanwhile, this is reading, all reading. So I can't remember if the last time that I chatted with you, I had finished Hotel de Lac. But I finished it and I gave it 4 stars. That was a really great read. It was a reread for me. I had read it when I was a senior in high school. I really enjoyed it. I went on to read an Agatha Christie, 5 Little Pigs. It's a Poirot mystery, and I can't remember where it falls in the list. I think it's maybe 25th in the list of his character books, and it was a 5-star read for me. It opens out with Poirot being queried by this young girl. She's, I guess, 20 or 19. She's going to get married, and before she gets married, she wants to clear her mother's name, have Poirot investigate what happened to her father's murder. Her mother was tried, convicted, and hanged for the murder of her father, and it was, I think, 16 years prior, and it's just really a great mystery. So he obviously takes on the case, and he interviews those that were on the scene at the time, and there were 5 suspects, so to speak, 5 little pigs, and so he speaks to each one, and the reader is given from their viewpoint and everything. And I really thought that I had nailed it, like I had picked the one that was the killer, but I was wrong up until the end. I really enjoyed it. If you have an Agatha Christie that's your favorite, drop it in the comments below, because I would love to know, and I will check it out. I read all the Miss Marple ones, if not once or twice or more, or seen the adaptations. And I did go on Amazon Prime to look and see if they had 5 Little Pigs, and they do. And I started to watch it, but for some reason I didn't care for how it was flowing. So I might pick up that again sometime. A Quitter's Paradise by Elysha Chang. And this one I gave 4 stars. This was really good, and I stumbled on this title at the library. It is a Sarah Jessica Parker imprint by Zando Projects. That's the publisher. And this type of book is one of my favorite types of books, because it is lesser known, and I just wish these lesser known books by, early novelists, debut authors, so to speak, or writers who have written in publications like the New Yorker or such. I wish they had more following, or they were pushed forward more in publishers, because they're really good books, for the most part, the ones that I've read. And this one was a real treat. So A Quitter's Paradise was about this young woman who was in a PhD program and with her boyfriend, and they get married, and she drops out of the program, thus quitter. That's like very symbolic, the quitting in this story. And it goes back and forth in time between the past and telling the reader about her parents. They were Chinese. It came to America. It was an immigrant story. It was a mother-daughter story. It was a story about grief because her mother passes away early on in the story. I can't remember the character's name at the moment. It's a lot about her reflecting on her life and her growing up and her mother and their relationship. And I wanted more about the mother. I thought the mother was a very, very interesting character. And the book as a whole, it just, from beginning to end, the arch of the story, it just all flowed at a wonderful pace. And again, I chanced upon it. I saw it at the library. It was a very catchy cover. You really wouldn't understand the cover unless you read the story, but it really was perfect. When I opened it and read the summary, and then I saw it was a Sarah Jessica Parker imprint, that she was, pushing the book, it made me take notice even more. I've kind of always enjoyed her projects. And I read The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I started off really strong enjoying this book. It's about grief. The writer lost her husband. Suddenly, he had a coronary issue. It was so powerful from the beginning of this memoir because they were about to eat something for dinner and he had this issue and he was dead. And she talks very rawly and real about the abruptness of it all and the ordinary moment of it. And then she goes into her year of magical thinking and how the brain during grief can trick you. If you don't tell many people, it won't be true, kind of thing. And along that kind of a pattern. And there were many parts which I recognized in my own grief that I'm going through in my grief journey. And then in parts it was too much and too personal to her. I don't know. It was a good read. And then I went on to read Jane and Prudence by Barbara Pym. I had never read one of Barbara Pym's books before, but I had heard about her through BookTube several years back. And oh my gosh, I loved this book. So I gave this one 4 stars. I thought it was more, but 4 stars. It was really fun. So Jane and Prudence is about 2 women, and Jane is the married one. Prudence is the single one. And they're about 9 years apart, I think. And Jane is married to a clergyman. She lives in the country, this little village in England. And Prudence lives in London, and she works at an office. She has an office job. So they're very 2 different lifestyles. And the 2 they meet at Oxford, and they get together, and visit with each other every once in a while to socialize and have lunch, a meal, that kind of thing. And they go back and forth. Jane will go to London or Prudence comes to the village. And it really is a great illustration on the 2 different lives, about how women are so similar and yet so different. So we have the married and the single, and the mentalities of both, and how the married woman views the girl who is single and vice versa. And I really liked Jane's character. I felt that she was really interesting. And I mean, a whole book on Jane could have been done. I definitely want to read more books by Barbara Pym, so I highly recommend Jane and Prudence. And then currently I'm reading Walk the Blue Fields by Keegan. This is one of my new favorite authors. This is an Irish author, and she writes, so far that I know of, mainly short stories. And this one is not terribly long. This was given to me for my birthday last month from a gal on TikTok. It was super sweet. I don't know if Amy watches this, but thank you so much, Amy. So I think I have 2 more stories. I started this morning. No, I started this last night, and I read during lunch. I read after work, and I will most likely finish it this evening. Her writing is just gorgeous. It's just beautiful. And if you like short stories, you definitely have to check it out. The writing, I mean, the characters are just so rich and deep, and she has a way of delivering a story with these people that is just so simplistic, but yet it's brilliant. So there's a story in here about, actually the title of the book, Walk the Blue Fields, about this priest, and he's officiated at a wedding, and he's at the wedding, and you know, all that the wedding and the reception and all that is going on. And then he has this reflection on the bride and the relationship and regrets and, you know, being a priest. And he kind of walks through his decisions in his mind, and then literally walks and moves through these life decisions that he's made. And then by the end of the story, you know, he comes around and he has accepted, and, you know, his priesthood, and it's just so beautifully put. I just loved it. Keegan just has this way of writing such an eloquent but simple story of life and people. It's melancholy, which I love, and it's full of despair, but yet there's hope, and then there's introspection and the reflection on lives and choices made and the path that a person's life can take and all that comes with. And it's just, she has such a gift at storytelling, and oh my gosh, I just want to eat up all that she writes. So I hope you've enjoyed the video this evening. It has been short and sweet. I hope to see you again soon. Please let me know what you're reading down below. Like and subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you soon. Take care.